Hi guys, my name is Ajit Srivastava and welcome to my channel. Today we will discuss about notes on OSPF, which is useful for person doing CCNA or CCNP or CCAE. Do not forget to like, subscribe and share with your friends. Let's start. OSPF is a link state routing protocol. 2. OSPF uses a hierarchy of routers called areas. 3. OSPF uses the Dijkstra algorithm to calculate the shortest path. 4. OSPF has a cost metric that is based on speed and bandwidth of the link. 5. OSPF routers exchange information about their connected networks using LSAs, link state advertisements. 6. OSPF routers send periodic hello packets to establish and maintain neighbor relationships. 7. OSPF routes have an administrative distance is 110. 8. OSPF traffic is multicast either to address 224.0.0.5, all OSPF routers, or 224.0.0.6, all designated routers. 9. The IP header of an OSPF packet specifies protocol number 89. 10. The OSPF process builds and maintains 3 separate tables. A neighbor table contains a list of all neighboring routers. A topology table contains a list of all possible routes to all known networks within an area. A routing table contains the best route for each known network. 11. OSPF forms neighbor relationships, called adjacencies, with other routers in the same area by exchanging hello packets to multicast address 224.0.0.5. Only after an adjacency is formed can routers share routing information. 12. OSPF router is identified by a unique router ID. Selection of router ID can be done as below. The router ID can be manually specified. If not manually specified, the highest IP address configured on any loopback interface on the router will become the router ID. If no loopback interface exists, the highest IP address configured on any physical interface will become the router ID. 13. By default, hello packets are sent out OSPF-enabled interfaces every 10 seconds for broadcast and point-to-point interfaces, and 30 seconds for non-broadcast and point-to-multipoint interfaces. OSPF also has a dead interval, which indicates how long a router will wait without hearing any hellos before announcing a neighbor as down. Default for the dead interval is 40 seconds for broadcast and point-to-point interfaces, and 120 seconds for non-broadcast and point-to-multipoint interfaces. Notice that, by default, the dead interval timer is 4 times the hello times. 14. Default priority on Cisco routers is 1. A priority of 0 will prevent the router from being elected DR or BDR, and DR election is not preemptive. 15. To establish OSPF neighbor adjacency, hello/dead timers, MTU, otherwise have to use IP OSPF MTU ignore, must match. Unique router ID is also required. 16. Routers in stub area can only be adjacent with the routers in stubs or totally stubby area. Routers in NSSA can only be adjacent with the routers in NSSA or totally NSSA. 17. OSPF sees secondary networks as stub networks and cannot make adjacencies over secondary addresses. 18. The only time that OSPF will form adjacencies between neighbors that are not on the same subnet is when the neighbors are connected through point-to-point links using IP unnumbered. 19. The primary interface and IP unnumbered interface will have OSPF enabled if a network statement matches the IP address of the primary interface. 20. An OSPF external route cannot use another OSPF external route as its next hop. 21. OSPF cost can be modified using interface bandwidth command. 2. Interface IP OSPF cost command. 3. Process autocost reference bandwidth command, or 4. Neighbor cost command on point-to-multipoint non-broadcast network. 22. The internal OSPF routes can only be summarized on ABRs, whereas the external, redistributed, routes can only be summarized on ASBRs. 23. In NSSA, ABR with the highest router ID does the LSA 7 to 5 conver.